Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
We now know when Bally's will open its hotel casino tower next to the new A's ballpark stadium. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us on 7 at 7. I'm Cynthia Puga. Starting with business, brought to you by G-Bank, your best banking experience ever. Bally's Corporation is aiming to have a portion of its planned resort and casino complete at the same time as the Athletics Las Vegas ballpark is set to open in 2028. The two projects will be built on the 35-acre site where the Tropicana Hotel Casino formerly stood. The first phase would consist of a casino, a hotel tower, and some level of restaurants and food and beverage options. Eventually, the site plans to include a 90,000 square foot casino and hotel towers with over 3,000 rooms. A man who made a long shot bet on a golfer in a 2023 Australian golf tournament is trying to convince regulations that he should be paid his winnings of $40,200. The gambler said he placed a $200 bet at a plus 20,000 odds with William Hill Sportsbook inside the Plaza Hotel Casino. Days after winning, the sportsbook said there was an error in the posting of the odds and that he actually only won $1,000.
The question is, on this one, was it really an obvious mistake? The golfer was not really somebody who is a household name. He's like 240th in the international rankings right now.
The gambler presented his argument to the Nevada Gaming Control Board, and a hearing officer heard both sides. The officer's recommendation will be made to the Control Board and to the Nevada Gaming Commission at a later date. In top stories, sponsored by Nevada Hand Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. Former President Bill Clinton paid a visit to Las Vegas to speak to voters at a Harris Walls campaign stop. This took place at the Doolittle Community Center, where the former president highlighted accomplishments under the Biden-Harris administration, Harris's plans for the economy and immigration.
Just for being a leader and putting together the infrastructure bill alone is enough to justify her reelection.
He said thanks to the infrastructure bill, the country is best positioned for the 21st century. Clinton also campaigned for Senator Jackie Rosen, who's up for re-election in November. And as Election Day is fast approaching, 7 at 7 anchor Lena Bleets breaks down the last question Nevada voters will see on the ballot.
Question 7 addresses voter ID. It would require voters to show a form of acceptable identification to vote in person during early voting or on Election Day. This includes a Nevada driver's license, a passport, tribal or university ID, or another government-issued photo ID. Supporters call the measure a way to improve election security. But opponents say voter fraud is incredibly rare in Nevada. They also say the question would restrict who gets to vote, as not everybody has access to an ID. If the measure passes, it would go before voters again in the 2026 election. Nevada would become the 37th state to require or request ID in order to vote.
In weather, sponsored by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. The warm weather continues, expecting a high around 89 degrees for your Wednesday. We do have a couple more days left in the 80s before temperatures begin to drop. So Thursday through Sunday, we'll still have temperatures in the mid to high 80s. And early next week, low pressure coming down from the Pacific Northwest will be bringing us cooler conditions into the high 70s for Monday. And Tuesday through the rest of the week looks like we'll be dropping into the 60s.
Now for your sports update, brought to you by PT's Taverns. With over 65 locations, there's a PT's near you. Visit ptstaverns.com. As UNLV's date with the Boise State Broncos draws near, let's take a look at this matchup historically. The two schools' first game saw the Broncos beat the Rebels on September 16, 1972 by a score of 36-16. UNLV won 3 of the next 4 contests against Boise. Then the Broncos started a string of dominant 7 straight wins over UNLV, including last season's Mountain West Championship game right here at Allegiant Stadium.
In Health, brought to you by Centerwell Senior Primary Care. Discover primary care focused on you. Intermountain Health unveiled the location for its future standalone children's hospital in Southern Nevada.
3, 2, 1.
Governor Joe Lombardo was on hand to reveal a sign for the site at UNLV's Harry Reid Research and Technology Park. Design of the hospital has begun, as well as clinical activities and workforce planning, including recruitment. More details will be available at a later date as the project develops.
Sports betting brought to you by Las Vegas Payout Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs were money again for bettors as Kansas City took down the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday in a Super Bowl rematch after closing as a 2.5-point underdog. Bettors at the Westgate Superbook favored the Niners, but the Superbook ended up winning money, which Superbook President Jay Kornegay called a rarity. The under proved to be good money as well, with the point total closing at 48 and the final score sitting at 28-18, totaling to only 46 points. Vegas Nation brought to you by Station Casinos STN Sports. Download the app today. Gardner Minshew was handed the keys to the offense once again Sunday against the Rams after Aiden O'Connell was injured during the first quarter, and Minshew didn't have the best showing, 3 interceptions and a fumble loss, totaling to 4 turnovers. Minshew postgame reflected on the feeling of the loss and the turnovers Sunday at the podium.
Super frustrating. I've never turned the ball over like this in my life. It's very frustrating. So just got to keep looking at it, keep studying, keep training good habits, and we're gonna find our way out of this.
In lifestyle news, brought to you by LV Craft Shows, has been bringing you the finest craft and gift show since 1999. Visit lvcraftshows.com for upcoming events. A Las Vegas magician performed a special magic show at a local school. Matt King showed off some of his mind-blowing tricks for the students at Henderson International School. The students were happy to watch, and some even volunteered during the private show. Matt King continues to wow audiences with his residency at Excalibur.
Now for entertainment, sponsored by Arizona Charlie's, has live entertainment every weekend at both locations. Go to ArizonaCharlies.com to see who's playing.
I'm going to make this happen for kids, and it's one kid at a time, and one step at a time. And I'm a fighter.
Well, you can call him a real-life superhero. Avengers actor Jeremy Renner was in Vegas over the weekend to host a series of charity events. LVRJ entertainment columnist John Katzelmetis has a recap.
Jeremy Renner was nearly killed in a snowplow accident on January 1st, 2023. He survived and has since reprioritized his life and focusing on charity. He brought his Renovation Foundation for the Kids event to Las Vegas for the first time over the weekend. This was a golf tournament, a bowling event, poker, and concert at Brooklyn Bowl with Gavin Rossdale of Bush. We had Robin Zander of Cheap Trick, Robin Thicke, and Skip Martin of Kool and the Gang supporting the effort.
Thanks for watching 7 at 7. You can watch us Monday through Friday on streaming platforms like Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and YouTube. Join us weekly at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. to get the latest Las Vegas news updates.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.